I have been keeping my ears to these financial streets, and the word is, do not keep all of your money in the bank. I repeat, do not keep all of your money in the bank. If you want to know why, make sure you stick around because we're going to talk about it. What's up, guys? This is Monique and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you are new here, make sure you go ahead on and hit that subscribe button and join the family because here we go everywhere in life together and all we do is win. So basically, I was just minding my business per usual and I'm scrolling, you know, educating myself on things, and I came across this video that was called Don't Keep Your Money in the Bank. And so he started to talk about all these different topics when it came to banking and what you should be doing with your money instead. So I thought that it was very interesting. Of course, I did my own research. Why? Because I will not bring anything ever to you guys that I don't go do a little studying on myself, okay? Some of you may be familiar with this, but there are a lot of us out there that didn't have the opportunity growing up to learn about finances, and so that's why I like to share every little bitty thing that I learned with all of you out there so that we can all grow and glow together, okay? So let's get into this topic. One of the first reasons that it was mentioned that you should not keep all of your money in the bank is because of something called fractional reserve banking. So what I discovered was that banks are only required to keep a certain amount available for you to withdraw at any given time. So on average, what I have found that many banks had to keep on reserve was 10% of your deposit. So that means that if you deposit $100, then what has to be available to you is only $10. Not the other $90. And we're going to talk about what happens with the other $90 and all that too. But if you deposit $1,000, then only $100 has to be available to you. When I heard that, I was like, oh my goodness, where's the rest of my money going? What happens if I need it and I can't get it? Like, what's going to happen? So, you know, of course, I had to do some more research. But in doing research, I also found out that 10% is not what every bank has to keep. It depends on how much they have overall. And some of them only have to reserve 3%. And there were even some that didn't have to reserve anything, 0% of your money. Comment down below and tell me what you're thinking about this process of fractional reserve banking so far. They wanted to be able to pour money into the economy, and the lower the reserve is, the more money is able to be put into the economy. So that's kind of where that came from. And something interesting that I learned that also I was like, oh my goodness. During the Great Depression, a lot of people were trying to access their assets in the bank. They wanted to take all of their money out. So what ended up happening was they all wanted to do this at one time. And of course, the banks didn't have that available. So banks started to fail. They started to close. They started to crash. And then guess what happened to those people? Money. They lost it. They had no chance of getting their money. And it was over $140 billion that was lost. It wasn't no little change. Like total, it was $140 billion. That's a lot of money to just say, hey, I lost. And during that time, they didn't have insurance and stuff on their money. You know, things are a little different now, but still, nonetheless, for somebody else to have that much power over my money, I don't know that I like that too much. What do you guys think? Comment down below and let me know what you think. But the thing is, today, if that happens, if everybody decides to go to one bank and decide, you know what, I'm going to go head on and I'm going to withdraw all of my money from this bank. If everybody hit that one bank at one time, then guess what? That bank would go under. They would not be able to handle that because they're only required to keep a certain amount of liquid assets, which means money available to you to access. So it's like, okay, that's something to kind of consider. And this fractional reserve banking is not just done in the United States. It is in almost all countries. In fact, I think it first started in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's all over. Anybody watching me right now is affected by fractional reserve banking. So at this point, we're like, okay, well, yeah, my 10% is available. Well, where is my 90% going? So what the bank is actually doing is taking your 90%, my 90%, everybody's 90%, and they are using it for loans. They're giving commercial loans. They're giving real estate loans. They're giving personal loans. They're giving all kinds of loans. More than likely, if you got a mortgage from a bank, That came from everybody else's money combined, okay? It was not the bank just having money sitting there like, oh, I'm going to give it to you. They're using that 90% that's deposited by you and me, okay? But then one would think like, well, how in the world are they able to make money off of using my money? Through the interest rate. You know, that 2%, 4%, 5%, whatever percent it is that they plug on their loan, that's how they make their money. And they also can be using these funds to invest in other things. I don't know exactly what else, but it could end up being something that you don't even like, you don't even want to support, but your dollar has went towards it. So these were all things we should be, you know, concerned with, or at least knowledgeable about. Like, we shouldn't just be putting our money in banks and not aware of the process of how it works. So that was the first reason that we should not be keeping all our money in the bank, just basically because if you want access to it and everybody else want access to it at the same time, you may not be able to access it. But the second reason is because of something we call inflation. And for those of you who are not fully aware of what inflation is, inflation is basically the increase in goods and services in the economy, which decreases the purchasing power of money. In layman terms, everything going up, but your dollar value is going down. And just think about it, like in 1970, $1 could buy you a lot of things. A few gallons of gas, you could get a lot of groceries with that. I mean, you can do so much with that $1. I remember when my mama used to put $5 of gas in a car, and that would get you a lot. But today, 1 gallon is almost $5. So that is what inflation is. And this is one of the reasons it said to not put all of your money in the bank, because your money is basically not growing. In fact, it's more than likely decreasing. I recently read an article that said consumer prices for goods such as clothes, food, housing, cars, energy, all of those things are up 6.8%, which is the highest it has been in the last 39 years. That is older than I am. So when you think about this, if you are just saving your money in a bank, let's say for 2022, you decide, I'm going to put all my money in a bank, I'm going to sit it there. You don't touch your money till 2032, 10 years later, that money will not have the same value. So we want to find ways to make our money grow so that we don't get lost in that inflation and our value of our money decrease. So we want it to be increasing. And for those of us that are like, well, I'm using a savings account, I'm getting whatever that percentage is they attached on there. So one time I put $20,000 in the bank. It was just sitting there for a couple of months. I didn't even get more than $10 for it sitting there. So that little interest rate that the bank gives you is not really, you know, doing that much, okay? So one thing that I don't like when like a lot of videos like this give us all this information like I'm giving you, and they tell us what this problem is, right? They give us, oh, they lay it out. I'm like, okay, yes, that's a problem. But then don't give you the solution to change it, to fix it, to do something about it. But we're gonna talk a little bit about what we can start doing about this. One of the things that was mentioned was that we need to become our own bank. Now, I'm not saying do not keep any of your money in the bank. I said do not keep all of your money in the bank. So just like the bank has the fractional reserve, we are going to only put our fractional reserve into the bank. And what that fractional reserve is basically our emergency fund. And our emergency fund should be about 6 months of our monthly expenses. And when I say that, I do not just mean rent, I do not just mean mortgage. What I mean is everything you pay for 1 month, multiply that by 6, and that's what our emergency fund should be. If you can't do 6, at least 3 months. You know, you put whatever you can in there, but that's the only thing that we should really be putting in the bank, is what I am learning. So with the rest of our money, what we have to start doing, of course, we're gonna have to budget. We're gonna have to figure out a plan for, you know, what we're going to be spending on ourselves, and you know what's going to go here, how much is going to be saved, all that great stuff. But that residual that we have, what we need to start doing is investing, guys. I'm sure you've heard this many times by many people that talk finances, but it is being said, because let me tell you one thing, 90% of millionaires became millionaires by investing. So this is going to be really big. This is really going to be important. that's what's going to give you that purchasing power back. That's what's going to help you fight inflation. That's what's going to help you feed your children and your children's children, okay? By investing, learning about it, that's where it all starts. I'm just starting out when it comes to it. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. And you know, as I learn, I'm going to share it with you. But how I am learning these things is I am investing in my financial education by reading a lot of books. And the one I am currently reading now is this. We have Rich Dad, Poor Dad here. And this is something that I believe everyone who's starting out on this financial journey should go ahead on and read. So in this next year, I am tasking you with learning as much as you can about investing and starting to invest. You don't have to go all out. Start small and then grow. That is what's going to help us to grow our money, and that is what's going to help us to keep the power. Other than that, I am going to continue to search for the best solutions, because people may not be at the position to start investing today, and it's like, okay, what do I do with my money now? Don't go take all your money out the bank and go put it in your mattress. That's not what I'm saying. Until we start to kind of figure out where to go, until you get the knowledge you need to start investing or finding other options, because there are more options out there than just that. And as I discover them, like I said, I'm going to tell you. But until then, you might want to keep it where it's at, all right? But that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed. I am going to continue to bring you topics like this, so make sure you subscribe. And also, if you are interested in seeing our vlogs, our lifestyle, day-to-day type thing, family talk, make sure you subscribe to our vlog channel. It's down in the descriptions below. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we are out. Peace.